My mother became very lonely after the death of my father. She found herself very tired as she had to take care of not only the housework and look after my little brother, but she had to take care of the affairs that my father used to take care of. She would settle debts, pay the bills, and do any kind of exterior work that had to be done to the house. It was during the hottest summer that my mother took my little brother to the store for some grocery shopping. The sun had set and the moon had rose by the time my mother and little brother were returning home. My younger brother couldn't stop crying. It had been a very long day for him, and he had gotten so hungry and tired. My mother tried everything she could, but he wouldn't stop crying. She saw a big, lush, beautiful tree in a nearby park. She decided then to take my little brother under it, have a rest, and feed him. It hadn't been long after my mother rested with my little brother and was feeding him when she heard the giggling of a little girl nearby. The little girl said, "I don't have a mother. Will you be my mother?" My mother was so shaken by this apparition before her, she immediately got up, grabbed my little brother, and hurried her way back home. Since that day, my mother started seeing that little girl everywhere around the house. Sometimes she appears beside the bed, sometimes in my little brother's room. My mother suffered greatly from fear and anxiety as a result of these apparitions. She could no longer take care of my little brother because she had a mental breakdown. My little brother would cry for hours upon hours, and my mother would have no idea. She spent hours alone in the dark, with only her thoughts and feelings to keep her company. I could no longer watch as my mother suffered and my little brother cried for hours from starvation. This is why I released my mother from this fear once and for all, forever. I am the girl because of whom my mother was suffering like this. I have been living on that tree for years and years. That day when I saw what a mother's love truly is, I wanted to have a mother too. My heart desired for her to love me as she was loving her child. And this is why I came home with her that night, so that I could stay with her forever. Now me, my mother, my younger brother, all live peacefully at home. Now my younger brother doesn't cry of hunger anymore, because I'm here to take care of him.
Now, I know what you're thinking, that I don't really have sleep paralysis, but that I'm simply being haunted by her ghost. I wish it was as simple as that. The truth is, this thing has been haunting me ever since I was a child. My therapist says that it was the unresolved trauma from losing my mother at a young age that first started my sleep paralysis. Mother's death broke my father, and he became just a shell of himself. We had no extended family, and I was left to deal with my issues all by myself. Being so young, I had no idea what was happening to me, and my dad was in no position to help, only looking at me with disgust every time I would tell him about the little girl in my bedroom. He thought I was just asking for attention, but I was genuinely scared out of my mind most nights. So I just learned to shut up about all this. If I had known what was happening to me, I would have also known how to deal with this stuff. So simple things like breathing deeply, calming yourself down, had to be learned by me through trial and error over the years. You cannot imagine the sense of relief I felt when I discovered what sleep paralysis was. It became a lot easier after that, knowing that it was just a condition and not a monster. I learned to deal with it. Time passed. I grew up. My nightmares became less and less frequent. I fell in love, got married, and had a beautiful little daughter, despite my many psychological issues. Having the love of my life next to me every night pretty much cured me of the sleep paralysis. Although I still had some attacks every now and then. But then my daughter grew up, and my life turned to hell as her face became more and more familiar. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. My therapist said that it was just my old issues rearing their ugly heads, and that I was projecting my daughter's face onto my nightmares. But I know better. My trust in my therapist nosedived, and so did all the progress I had made. My reaction to this development was the absolute worst. I started pulling away from my daughter. It's a horrible thing for a father to admit. But being near to that face was turning into a debilitating experience. I started getting into fights with my wife. She couldn't understand why I was pulling away like that, not showing up for recitals, spending less and less time with her, and slowly turning into a workaholic. It all came to a head when I missed her 10th birthday to go on a work trip that I didn't really need to go on. My daughter was crying harder than ever before, and my wife was absolutely furious. The fight we had that day was the worst of our married life. For a second there, I thought this was it, that this would be what kills our marriage. But I managed to convince her that I'll try harder after returning and to give me just one more chance. I still remember that night. It is burned into my memory, every second of it. A phone call in the morning destroyed my life. While I was dealing with my sleep paralysis, some piece of garbage had broken into my home. He shot my wife, then violated my daughter before slitting her throat. All I was left with was pain and regret. If I hadn't gone away that night, if I had just stayed home, I could have protected them. The guilt I felt was soul crushing. My daughter was calling for me that night, and I failed her. I let my weakness get the better of me and lost everything that was dear to me. My nightmares have gotten worse, Every night she stands there, looking at me, wondering why I didn't protect her. I'm so sorry, baby. I'm coming to you. Now, before I end it all, I just want to leave you with this message. If it looks like your sleep paralysis demon is trying to tell you something, pay attention.